Here's a review of the retractable chandelier fan with light. This one's in the 42 inch. And at first I thought the 42 inch was gonna be way too small because my fan that I had up there previously is a 60 inch fan, very large. And so I thought for sure this would give a lot less airflow, but that was definitely not the case. This little guy can pump out some air. Here's a size comparison to show you just how large the 42 inch version of this fan is. Now what's really cool is how the fan blades retract into the chandelier. So when you're not using the fan, it just looks like a normal chandelier. But when you turn the fan on, it takes a couple seconds to get it going. This is number 1, the lowest speed, and then it goes all the way up to a 6 speed. Now it moves a lot faster than what you can see here. The camera can just only capture it so fast. But this thing gives a ton of airflow, more than my 60 inch fan, and it's also very, very quiet. And I mean it when I say quiet. I do not ever hear this fan at any time, even on the highest setting. And as far as the light goes, it starts off very, very bright. As you can see, it's a little too bright. And if you use this at nighttime, it is way too bright. You definitely gotta tone it down. In which case there's a night light button, which kind of makes it a little bit duller so it's not as bright. And then there's a regular old brightness button that you can lower it. It does take a little time to kick in, but as you can see, it is slowly getting dimmer. And that's gonna be its lowest dimming setting. And then of course you can turn off the fan, so you can just choose to have the light on if you want. And what's really cool is you can change the coloring of the light too. You can change it to warmer or softer. So there's gonna be your orange, there's your very, very light blue, and then there's your normal setting. That's the one we use the most. And if you don't want to go just straight to one color, right where there's a brightness button, there's also a color button as well. You can kind of go one way or the other, or put it into the perfect spot that you want it to be in. And what's cool is, let's say we want to set it there and leave it there, you can turn it off, turn it back on, and it's right where you left it. Same goes with any of the color settings. It goes right back to where it was. Now I wish I could show you how nice it looks with this camera, but you really can't. It shines brightly and then you see all the colors of the prism and it looks really nice. It's just with the camera, it's just only getting this bright blob, and trust me, it does not look like that in person. It looks like an actual chandelier with light shining through. It's really nice. Here's a better picture of it so you can see how the light shines through the crystal. It looks really nice in my opinion. Let's change up the lighting just so you can see how each one does. And here's a close-up of it to show you how nice the crystals are. We were really impressed with how this thing looks once we finally hung it up. And the fact that it has a fan and it's a light was really, really cool for our bedroom. Now, one thing to note though is this is my second one. The first one had a really weird issue to when even you turn off all the light, there's always this dim light on. And I thought at first that it was to keep the crystals shining bright and to make it look really nice because it was super dim, barely noticeable. But when the lights are all off and it's the middle of the night and you want to use your fan, you had to constantly have these lights on. So if you purchase this, there is a chance that you will get one of those models, because I was reading through the reviews and a lot of people were back and forth with it. Some turned all the way off, some didn't. I definitely had the one that didn't. So I returned it, got this new one, and now it's perfectly fine. Another thing to note is, as you can see, mine is installed on a slanted ceiling. It does not want to be installed on a slanted ceiling. The controller that it has inside the top there is huge. And to fit it in the bracket that it came with is nearly impossible. I don't know why they would make a bracket that small for putting in such a large remote, but I ended up having to just move it around and kind of just spend way too long with it trying to get it in there. So not deterring you from buying it, just keep in mind that you might want to have someone install it for you if you're not handy with that, because it's not a simple fan because the remote is just way too large. Speaking of the remote, let me show you what we got here. So on the top left, you have your master off, and this just turns off everything including the fan. You have your light on and off if you want to do that. There's your fan direction, which is normal, and then you have the reverse. There's your light color changing, and as you can see, it's taking effect as we go. Here's your night light, so it can just dim it right away. You have a 1 hour timer, a 2 hour timer. You have your color changing from left to right here. And then up and down, you're gonna have your brightness. You have all 6 settings of your fan, and then just the fan off button. Now the setup button shows Wi-Fi, but it's just for the app, but I would not recommend using the app. I took the time to get it set up and it immediately disconnected in like less than 5 minutes. It was pretty awful. So I wouldn't use the app, just use the remote. But luckily it's paired up to it right away, so there's nothing to do with that. You just literally put batteries in and it's good to go. And as you could probably guess, my wife loves this fan chandelier, and she is the reason that it is up there, because I was perfectly happy with my 60-inch large fan, but this one actually blows a lot more air than that one. So all in all, besides the unnecessarily difficult installation of that huge remote up top, this is a really nice fan. It blows air very, very hard. The light's super bright and has a lot of settings and options. and I definitely recommend it if you're looking for a chandelier fan.